I'm Ashton Addison from the Crypto Coin Show, and today on Blockchain Interviews with Matthew Teudor, founder of EVDC. Matt, welcome to the show, and thanks for taking the time.
Thanks, Ashton. Nice to meet you. Hi, everyone. Nice to meet you as well. I'm very excited for this interview. So let's get started.
Definitely. I'm super excited to learn a little bit about something that I feel like I should know more about, electric vehicles, the charging, how we can incorporate blockchain and cryptocurrency payments into electric vehicle charging as well, and what are the benefits of that. So let's dive into it. I'd love to start out with a high-level overview of what you and your team have built at EVDC, and then we can dive into all those questions.
Okay, perfect. So we built a charging app that allows you to charge your car using traditional forms of payment, but also crypto, which is basically our crypto token that we've launched and built, and allows you to go and anywhere in Europe and top up your vehicle or get a full charge, or even like go on a full road trip and only charge your car using cryptocurrency or fiat if you want. And we've also made an app that's very complete. It has a lot of charging points. Most of them are on there. Very fast unlocking speeds for the chargers. Like every problems that we see that were in the mobility world of the ownership for charging and the whole infrastructure, we're trying to create solutions to that so that we could strive in that domain. So yeah.
It's really interesting, and I want to dive a little bit more into those problems. I feel like there's thousands and thousands of people that have been considering, getting an electric vehicle or getting a Tesla, and it sounds good in your head, but I'm sure, there's intricacies to charging efficiently, or, what are some of the main problems with you being in industry when you have an electric vehicle? You have to find a spot and the cost of it, and what else is a consideration?
So if you have a Tesla, for example, it's the ownership experience is completely different than if you have let's say a Mercedes or an Audi or a Volkswagen, or a Skoda. So if you have a Tesla, you just go on the map and you put a destination, and then tells you where to stop. You just plug in and the charger works, and that's it. If you have, let's say, a Mercedes or an Audi and you live in Europe, you have to find your charging stations, and the Mercedes doesn't have a direct connection with the charger, so you need to have a form of authentication. So either a card, or you have to go through an app, and then you have to have a form of payment, and then sometimes the chargers don't work, and they're very slow to get going. Sometimes you could wait up to 10 minutes and the charger still isn't even online. Compared to like a Tesla, you just plug in, you wait 30 seconds and charging has initiated. Like the handshake is much faster with Teslas because you just plug in and stuff and it charges. But for the other EV owners, it's more of a pain. It's more painful because it's longer delays. You have no accurate information about where you're going to charge your car. Is the charger working? How many people are there? Is there availability? You're just going there blinded. So see it as an opportunity to improve in this industry, and that's what we're trying to do here at EVDC, and that's the reason why we've implemented the EVDC tokens or the cryptocurrency from the start, is because we wanted to offer people an alternative. And where it gets interesting is like countries like, let's say, South Asia, like countries where they don't have credit cards. That's where I believe EVDC will strive more than like in Europe, but we're giving incentives for people to use the token more than the credit card, and it seems to be working. So we're moving in that direction, and we're constantly trying to improve the next quarter and the next quarter and so on.
That's amazing. And yeah, it sounds like a horror story. You pay so much extra. You're owning a Mercedes, it's new, electric, and then it's like such a worse experience than just getting gas. Obviously, there's room for improvement, and that's where the entrepreneurs come in. So I love that you and your team are trying to solve this. Now, I want to dive a little bit more into the EVDC app. So if you go to your mobile phone, you get the app. What does it look like when you how does it make the experience better for these owners when they open the app compared to the way that they did it before?
Well, for starters, let's say you just landed in Europe. You live in New York, you fly to Paris, and you landed in Europe, and there's only electric cars available at the rental counter or at the airport. So you get an electric car, and they don't tell you how to charge it. They just give you a little magnet and say, oh, scan this on the reader and we'll bill you. They don't tell you how much per kilowatt. They don't tell you what's the administration fees for every charging session. They don't tell you anything. They just say, and this magnet that they give you, let's say if you go to Hertz, they don't provide you with the locations. You don't know where you're going. You don't know where it's compatible or not. They say, oh, it works at all the Shell stations, for example. That's what they told me as a like my experience. And you go there and there's a little box, a little very old charger, and this magnet works there. So you're like, okay, let me try. And then you tap the magnet. It gives you 50 kilowatts an hour. You wait like an hour to get charged, an hour and a half. Compared to like if you would have just downloaded EVDC, you could charge as a guest user. So you click guest user, you put in your information, or you buy tokens with your credit card, or if you have tokens from a wallet, you could just deposit it directly on the app. And then you see all the charges around you. You see where you're going. Is there any charging locations? You just use the My Location feature, and then you just click on the charger, start charging. And that's it. You select your form of payment, and within 5 seconds, the charger is already unlocked, ready to plug in. And like you could literally download the app now, like this specific second, and in half a minute, you're ready to charge.
That's awesome. And now,
so that brings me to the point of other charging apps where they ask you to order cards. You have to wait by the mail. You have to sign up, full sign up verification, and everything. So.
Yeah, no, it sounds like a major improvement, and I don't own an electric car, but I have rented one before, and when you first get it, you sort of feel clueless. It's like you're like pumping gas for the first time. You're like, well, how does this all work? And like it's a little, even for technology people, it's a little bit intimidating. So I could definitely see how this would make it easier.
I think it's easier than pumping gas once you get the hang of it, because you don't have to go and pay and whatever. It's all taken from your credit card or from your token balance. But if you're looking at it, we're trying to make it easier than pumping gas. That's if you notice, like by doing a guest user interface, we're taking a bigger risk because we're allowing people to not verify their identity, and some people can use like not very good credit cards, like frauded credit cards, or like it will work or will not work depending on our processing partner. But what I'm saying is we're taking the risk to make a step forward in that industry and to give people a truly seamless experience. And yes, we've had issues. Yes, like everybody, we've had issues, and we're working on fixing those issues. But the way I see it is, if we didn't have those issues, we wouldn't know this would be a problem and we wouldn't fix it. So we're just constantly making the app better so that it's just, let's say somebody that downloaded the app today would have a completely different experience, a much better experience than somebody that downloaded the app a year ago. So we're improving in the right direction, and I think that's the only way to maneuver this kind of venture. You have to go through all these hardships, and it's technology. It's a new technology. Everything's new, and we're building in something like we're creating the route. We're building it. We're making we're building it from the ground and up. So
yeah, and I feel like depending on what city you're in, I see a lot of electric vehicles around, but I still feel like if you look at the whole world, it's still such a small percentage. So to be building this kind of company at this stage, the market is probably eventually going to be, everybody that owns a car, depending on your time frame of when you see more electric vehicles coming in. What do you guys look at as like the target market and the roadmap compared to the adoption of electric vehicles versus gas vehicles in the certain countries that you're targeting first?
Well, my target market, like we have Europe, okay? You look at Europe, the average consumer looking for good pricing, looking for fast app, a fast app, easy to use, no bugs, no errors, correct pricing per kilowatt. And then you have, let's say, the other market, which is like, let's say Asia, where it needs to be much cheaper in some areas, but they're like, you have also much different electric vehicles. You have electric vehicles you never heard of, like coming from China, like under $10,000, $15,000. There's electric cars there. So you have also electric scooters that are focusing on level 2 charging, which is like, let's say 22 kilowatts and under. Those are good. It's a good market because it's a lot of volume. So for us, we're tapping into that market slowly, but eventually we have to be fully deployed in that market. And the goal is to get full adoption in Europe, full adoption in Asia, full adoption in the North American, South American territories, and then make it very good, very cost efficient, very fast. And then with the peer-to-peer network, which is our own chargers that we've built, people can go and add to the network, buying a charger and add it to the network. And then eventually we have a network built by the people, for the people. And then we're global. And then, we have to just keep improving, keep making it better, new ways. It's like, it's endless. There's always a better way. There's always a way to make it better. Always. And it's just a lot of people onboarding at the same time. We have issues with our server. We have to upgrade the whole infrastructure of our back end, and that was a tough one. But now it's done, so thank God. But it's always going to be like, there's always going to be stuff to do, and always we're trying to do them before they need to be done. You know what I'm saying? Where in terms of waiting for something to happen, and then you lose a lot of momentum, but you do it before, so it never happens. People on the app, they use it and they don't see any issues, and that's perfect. It's like Uber. You use Uber every day, but you don't know what kind of issues they're having their back end. So I think that's technology, man. It's like, that's the way to build technology. It's really you hit or you miss, and it costs a lot of money. It's very, very costly, and there's no way around it. So.
Yeah, no, that's a great point. And I like what you said about the Asian market. There's definitely lower cost electric vehicles coming out. I think, people in Americas, you don't know exactly what's going on, but I feel like they're very up and coming. And also the part about the scooters, I've been to some Asian countries, and even in Europe and everywhere, you're seeing these scooters on like every corner. It's like, there's almost too many. There's like 10 per person, and those need to be charged as well. And that's actually a really good market on top of cars. So I'm glad that you mentioned that.
There's Numi, there's a lot of, okay, let's say in India, okay, you have all these electric scooters, beep beep, everybody's driving the electric scooter, and they're gas powered or whatever type of energy they use. I don't think they use diesel. I think it's only gas powered. And now these scooters are slowly becoming electric. Most of them are coming electric. Like, you want to buy a scooter, people don't buy any more gas. They buy an electric. It's the same price, and some are even cheaper, right? If you want to buy a Yamaha scooter, let's say it's 3,000 US, but you buy an electric scooter, it's 1,200 US, 1,200, and it's electric and it's cheaper. But these people need to charge these scooters, so. Same old thing for them. Instead of going to the gas station, they stop at in front of a department store or a little, in a village. There's those little electric scooters electric chargers, because they run on 11.7 or 22 kilowatts. So it's very easy. It doesn't require that much infrastructure to install a charger. So, they charge, and let's say it takes half an hour, I think, to charge a scooter. It's a 7 or 8 kilowatt hour battery. So, and then they're done, and it's much cheaper than gas. So I see a market, and I'm very, very excited to get into this market. I'm trying to get into this market before the end of 2024. And also other things that we're doing that are very exciting. So, it's a very promising industry, but you have to be ahead of the curve, and you have to be very, very diligent. Any mistake can cost you a lot. It costs you momentum. It can cost you money, because if people go and they charge and there's an error on your app with the operators, you're going to have to pay for that power. So,
yeah. And now, speaking of chargers, you mentioned there a few answers ago about having a charger from the company as well. So what's the status of that? Does the team have its own charging hardware that's going out physically around the world.
We've hired a few engineers, we've designed our chargers, and now we're in production, so which is very good. Us as a company, we're starting to deploy chargers, level 2 chargers, but also people can deploy their own level 2 charger if they want, in front of the store, like they're gonna start to deploy in front of stores, in front of restaurants, in front of hotels, in front of the like department stores, as I was saying. But I think slowly, it's gonna become a thing where people are gonna put a charger in front of their house, and people are gonna come and charge to the charger. It just needs to become a normalized thing, because you don't want a stranger pulling up to your house. Same as Airbnb, it used to be like, oh, you're gonna rent your room in your house, but now it's became a normal thing. That's gonna become a normal thing. You monetize your charger. Why not? And it gives people, a way to earn. If you live in a very, very fancy area, let's say remote and fancy, you could go and you could charge up to $1 a kilowatt, or it could be very lucrative for you as a person. And let's say you live next to you have like, let's say a chalet, or, a wood cabin next to a ski resort, or a ski location, or somewhere where people go to have vacation. You could put 4 or 5 chargers. It's going to cost you like less than $5,000, and people are going to come there and charge, and you could make a good amount of money,
Yeah, no, that's a great business idea. And it's also helps decentralize the network more. And yeah, I think just as people, thought it was crazy to get in a stranger's car before Uber, after a decade, it becomes so normalized that they prefer it, and they're just going to prefer convenience of, hey, I'm parked outside the chalet.
Yeah, you could be anywhere and have an Uber come pick you up, literally. You don't have to wait. Before, you need to call the taxi company and then wait for them to send you a taxi. Now you have a guy that's a minute away and come pick me up. But as long as those people, those drivers are verified and they're safe, same thing with the chargers. You're not going to go charge at somebody's house if it's not considered a safe location. So before activating a charger, we're going to do our diligence. There's a screening process. It's not just like, okay, you get, unless it's commercial on a public space, then it's fine,
Yeah, no, that makes sense. And speaking of the costs of it, you talked about paying through the app, and then there's also paying with cryptocurrency, and of course there's going to be fiat as well. But there are cost advantages and maybe other advantages to actually working with crypto and blocking the app. Can you talk about that a little bit?
Yeah. So currently, how the stack is on the app. If you download the app and you pay with your credit card, you pay cost price per kilowatt. So basically what we pay the operator, that's what you pay. So let's say in a month we start buying much more kilowatt from that operator, we get, let's say, 15% discount. That's why I keep telling people, like, we need to the more utilization, the cheaper the prices are going to be. Because let's say Total Energy, if we buy over 1 million kilowatts a month, we get 50% rate reduction on the kilowatt hour price. So you pay cost price on the app. So let's say you fill your car 10 kilowatts, let's say you buy, and it's 50 cents a kilowatt. So it's $5. All right. So how it works, that's what you pay plus a session fee. So if you're going to charge your car for 30 minutes on a DC fast charger, you're going to get, let's say, 50 kilowatts. You're going to pay a session fee of $2.99 on top of the cost price. And we've done the math a million times. It still is cheaper than just paying the regular rate of another app or directly to the operator, because the regular rate of the operator is like 30% more, or other apps, they charge a markup. If you pay with EVDC tokens, there's no session fee. So you just pay the cost price. So you pay 30% off, technically, if you're looking at it that way. Sometimes more, sometimes less. We're introducing something where on level 2 chargers, the session fee will be much less, like $1 or less. Because the ratio of, let's say you're getting 5 kilowatts or 10 kilowatts and you're paying $2.99 on top makes no sense. We're improving on that, and anything under 22 kilowatts is going to be a reduced session fee, because it has to be fair to everyone. Not everybody's comfortable jumping into crypto right away, right? Even if they save the session fee, it's for them, it's like crypto, it's new, everything new and crazy. You need to slowly get them in this incentive, give them incentives to do it, to change, and then slowly, they'll change. So constant improvement. Like as I was saying before, we weren't thinking that the 299 session fee for slow chargers, like slower sessions where you get much less kilowatt in your session, the 299 session would be a problem, but now we realize it is. So we're improving that. Hopefully by Monday we'll have a next week Monday, September, I think 24th, we'll get an update on that. So
that's great. Yeah, and that makes sense, especially if you're charging a scooter or something down the road that's doesn't cost much to fill it up to 100% charge. You're going to want a cheaper fee. And on the crypto part, it's great savings, but also, yeah, there's that adoption curve. But from what I understand, you guys have built in like a fiat on and off ramp, or a way that you can just buy it within the app. So, you don't have to go to the crypto exchange and do all these other things to be a crypto expert just to pay with crypto.
No. I'll explain to you. Just recap quickly. All right. So if you download the app, you could put in your credit card and you could use your credit card to charge, or you could just go to the My Profile section and top up EVDC tokens in your wallet using your credit card. You just add, let's say, $50 using credit card, top up, you put payment method, credit card, top up, then you have them. And then when you go to charge, select payment method. The charger is going to ask you always, how do you want to pay? Using EVDC, credit card, you just select EVDC tokens. You're going to see your balance, start charge, and then it's going to allow you to start the session. And then at the end of the session, it's going to deduct you from the tokens. The token balance, let's say you used $8 worth of tokens, going to deduct you. Now you're going to have 42, for example. So it's almost as simple. It's an extra click, but you save the session fee. That's why I always recommend people to, take 10 seconds and learn how to buy it. You can save the session fee. The credit card buying process, you just put your credit card, you go into session, start a session, or select the charger, start a session, and you get deducted a €50 authorization. Whenever you're done, whenever you're done charging, this €50 is returned, and then you're charged the proper amount. And if the charger doesn't work, it's just to be clear, if the charger makes an error or whatever, and you can't charge, the €50 immediately reimbursed within seconds. So you get it back right away. You start another session. It's not addition, and then you have to wait 24 hours to get back. It's immediately released. It's just a hold. It's not a charge. We just hold it, and then it's released. So that also is something that we've improved compared to other operators where they charge you the 50. You just hold it. So,
that's good to know. And on the crypto side and the blockchain side, I'm curious, is there a specific blockchain that, is the underlying technology that the team has chosen is like, hey, this blockchain works best for this?
Not really, no. Well, Ethereum before the gas fees, that's why we moved to BNB. But now we're going to move out of BNB and we're going to fork our own blockchain. That's to be announced shortly. But we're just on BNB currently because of the gas fees, the effectiveness. Also, a lot of people had BNB when we launched the project. A lot of people were using BNB, but now there's so many cryptos out there, and we don't want to be part of an ecosystem. We want to be our own. So we don't want to be. We want to be part of the blockchain. So that's the next plan. That's in the works that we're going to announce shortly as well. But it's very, very sensible and touchy because we are finding ways to accommodate everyone. So, it's always when we're going to jump into a new chapter of the project, it's always going to be a bit confusing for people, but eventually we're doing this for the best of the project. We're doing this for more adoption. So, and also more control from our side over the programming, the back end, using BNB we have not created the BNB ecosystem, right? So we have created our coin, but we don't have access to the infrastructure as much as we are with our EVDC blockchain. It's much easier. We've been doing a lot of tests, and it's much easier for us to run the blockchain than to stay on BNB or Binance ecosystem. So so that's the answer.
That's great. I'm looking forward to seeing the blockchain and how it works and the extra advantages. And speaking of the future and the roadmap, is there anything else that you'd like to mention about the roadmap for the end of 2024 and into 2025? What are some of the main goals that you and your team are trying to accomplish?
Well, faster app, more charging point, hopefully released India, Asia, that kind of market. Tier 1 exchange. We already own a Tier 1 exchange, but we have more exchange listings lined up. We're just waiting on some confirmations from our end. What else? Marketing push. Really, we're starting the marketing. We've released like 7-8 videos this week. Influencers released, and also we're on the show with you, so you could also see that we're doing a good marketing push. We're really trying to get in the top. I don't see any reason why we shouldn't be in the top 1,000 cryptocurrency projects, like then a top 500, eventually, hopefully a top 100. So I think that we're a very, very undervalued project at the current moment. I think because we went and we've built the app, and the crypto promotion, the crypto marketing was, people have to hear about this, right? So in order to want to either buy it or use it. So now that the app side is very complete and very, bulletproof, we're starting to use a lot of our resources to promote the usage and the utility. We're at this phase of the plan right now. That's the part, that's the chapter we're at. Promotion, adoption, marketing, billboards, all that kind of stuff. So that's the step we're in right now. We're in that process, so we have some goals to meet. So we have targets, and we're trying to reach our targets for this quarter. So that's where we're at.
Very cool, Matthew. Well, thank you for all the information on electric cars, charging. I'm one of the people, and I feel like there's so many that are interested in switching to electric still. There's still so many that are coming into the market. So I'm wishing you and your team all the best in the growth, and I am expecting in the coming years it's only going to get bigger. Now, what is the best way for people to follow along with those updates that you're talking about? And I'm guessing downloading the app is the first way. And if there's any other communities where most people can go and talk to each other that are using the app.
Yeah, Telegram. You could go on Telegram, EVDC token or EVDC network. You could go on Twitter, EVDC network. Well, you could put all the links in the description. If you download our app, you get push notifications. So also that's good. And hopefully we do an interview soon, another interview next year. Maybe we'll track the progress. I try to do second and third interviews always so that we can see what's the progress of the first interview. So
I agree. And I'll leave the links in the show notes for the viewers as well. I'm wishing you guys all the best on these updates. Looking forward to more adoption, your own blockchain, and growth of electric vehicles and clean air to breathe while we're driving around as well. So all the best, Matthew, to you and everyone at EVDC, and let's definitely follow up in the near future.
Thank you, Ashton, and thank you everyone for joining. So we'll see you next time.